Kabbalah shit might work for you because you belong to the synagogue. I don't belong to the synagogue, my nigga. I belong to the pyramid. So I'm a show and represent what's in alignment with me. And just because it ain't in alignment with you don't make me wrong, right? What makes you wrong is that you're not acknowledging that all of that bullshit that you holding up plagiarize what it's standing on from the Happy Now Valley. See, it's that part. And see, a lot of the behemoth, which is a Hebrew word for beasts of the field, you know, the hairy backs, the hairy calf ass motherfuckers. They thought we was gonna remain dense and dormant all of our lives, all of our generations. They hated to see this day. They hated to see a time where somebody's standing out there representing their culture, immersed in it, teaching it, speaking it, pointing out the inconsistencies and the contradictions and the hypocrisies and the flaws that's found in these religious institutions. They didn't want that coming through these social media platforms. They want you doing the dance and doing the whip. You know what I mean? A fucking gesture. They want you to be a fucking clown. When you need to be wearing a fucking crown. Crowns are not for clowns. I'll say that one more time. Crowns are not for clowns. They want us to be comedians, jokesters, and entertainers and dancers. Anything but your divine royal self. And they'll find a reason to shadow ban me just for wanting you to know that. So you out your goddamn mind. Aeon ratio. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Because y'all can't show me even Enos or who they call Enoch. Show me that nigga Enoch grave. Oh, don't nobody have his grave. He ascended to heaven. That's very convenient. Very convenient. Show me Jesus' grave. You said he died at 33. Oh, his spirit just went into the sunlight. That's bullshit. Show me Moses then. Oh, you know, no, that was a long time ago. His body turned to ashes and so did his gravesite. These are convenient lies. It's convenient. Well, show me King Solomon. Oh, hair on their tongue. Show me King David. Y'all made this being about this little six-ether Asiatic black Hindu boy and said that that's David. Where's that nigga Bones at? He ascended to heaven. That's very fucking convenient. But I could pull up the grave of Akhenaten. I could pull up the grave of Tut Akhenaten. You could pull up the grave of Osset, Osoru, and Haru. Shouts out to Zahi Hawass, the #1 leading anthropologist on Egyptian tomb discovery, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, right? But he pulled up the tombs of Osset, Haru, and Osoru, who are mistakenly called Isis, Osiris, and Horus. And when they pulled up Osiris or Osiris' tomb, that nigga was cut up in 14 pieces. They was carefully constructed back in place, and it no longer became a myth. Some of y'all was too young. Some of y'all wasn't even born yet. Some of y'all were just the apple of your daddy's eye at that time. But in the year 2K, Y2K is what they called it, the year 2000, right? At 12:01 on the dot, they didn't show, what's that dude named Dick? What's the name? Dick Clark. They didn't show him holding the mic and saying Happy New Year. That shit went straight to Egypt. It went straight to Egypt for 24 hours. Listen, and they took down the ABC sign on that broadcasting channel and put an Ankh there. The second I seen that, I knew that it was our time. The second I seen it. And shouts out to my new Abia worldwide. Because we every year My Supreme Grandmaster teacher would do something called the Nawapu ball. And at the Nawapu or the Nawabu ball, right, on this particular year, there was a ceremony that took place to commemorate the ending of the beast's rule over this planet. I was there. I heard everything he had to say that day, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And he knew that. You hear me? He knew that. And he told it because there wasn't a lot of people there that day. But he said, didn't I leave your cup overfull? Didn't I leave it overflowing? Now you got enough knowledge to go out there and go teach the world. Now go save the world. He said, go teach the world and save the world. And do your best. And that's all I've been doing ever since he said it. You can't get mad at me for that. And I'll be telling y'all, I've been on this 29 years. The people that be looking to go up against me, first of all, you ain't even from my religious institution, for lack of a better word. You're not from Mere Number 9. You don't belong to Ramesses Lodge. But you trying to challenge me? Your goofy ass just started watching YouTube videos some 7 years ago. You hear me? And now you want to challenge me because you done learned something new? That's good. I'm happy that you learned something new, but watch you get challenged. Because I debunk your ass. And I'm not here to debate nobody. The debates is over. The debates ended in 1999. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate that gift. The debates is over. Now I'm here for people that want results. Because I told y'all, you got 100 years if you lucky. If you lucky, you get 100. And you don't got time to be squandering away on not preparing for what's after here. I'll be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you that, man. Y'all tap that screen, man. We got any questions? Put them in the comments section for me. Some water. I'm smashing these waters. Take one of these things out. Baby girl, man. She gonna hiss like a dragon. Why you take one of those waters? Convenience. All right, we're gonna pull out this board and go over this visible spectrum. This is what I'm gonna always go over until people actually ask questions or have a question. If you don't have a question, then that's cool too, y'all. We'll just get it in. It's gonna be uploaded to YT anyway. It's gonna end up on the YT. All right. So you right here in the visible spectrum, right? This is where you have your body. And your body has all of these chakra points inside of it. You see that? And what's holding this body together, listen, is gravity. Gravity is holding all of your molecules and your atoms and the electromagnetic energy that's coursing between each molecule and atom in place. And all of that's happening on the visible end of the spectrum. Now, as you unlock, if you get these chakras spinning in the right direction, starting here at the solar plexus, you will start transcending thinking, right? Once you start transcending thinking, you start listening to your first mind, right? And your first mind deals with your spirit body, not your physical body, your spirit body. That's you. The spirit is who you are. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are spirit. And the spirit operates on the resonance of the omnipresent. It has a mental disposition towards the all-knowing. You give all of that up to have fingers, toes, limbs, and a head and physical senses. so that you can experience this life in the visible spectrum at an optimum rate. Now, how you feel is based on your emotions. Your thoughts and your desires compel you to wake up in the morning and have another day, right? Have another go at it. But as you get up to the yellow end of the spectrum, you become insightful, right? Inner sight, internally seeing, not externally peering through the senses. You follow that? Insight, internal sight, not external. Like we talk about with the moon magic, you got to have an internal intention and an external attention, right? So once you get to the internal level, you start dealing with the thinking, which is the sixth sense. You got 5 senses in your body, and the sixth sense is thinking. Your thinking can move past the frequency of your emotions and your thoughts and your desires. You can outthink your emotions. You can outthink your thoughts and your desires. But can you nullify your thinking or transcend your thinking and start dealing with your intuition? This is when you start moving into an innate state of awareness where you don't have to think about it. Shouts out to Michael Jordan, the Black Jesus, the Black Cat. Yahweh in the flesh is what they called him, right? For the youngest out there, right? And Lisa Lexa came to him one time and said, "Hey, I'm trying to," this when she was young and she was all googly eyed and shit all in his face. Like, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" Like, "Hey, Mike, I got a question for you. Can you tell me how can I improve my game?" He said, "At this stage in your career, you shouldn't be improving your game. You shouldn't have to think about the things that you need to do. You should just be able to do them. And you do that." She like, he was like, "Do you think about the free throw that you shooting?" I'm like, "No." Like, "But you used to." Like, "Yeah." Like, "You don't have to think about it no more." Saying that's the whole thing. It's like he don't think about it. He just do it. And that's what Nike call that's their brand's moniker or their logo or their mission statement is just do it, right? Don't think about it, just do it. If you got to think about it, you're not ready to do it yet. Once you're ready to do it, what you say? "I done thought about it. I'm done with it. I close it. I know it now. I'm ready to go." You hear me? But when you ain't ready to do something, you're going to think about it over and over and over again. And that's just going to lead to overthinking. And overthinking going to bring you back down into your emotions. And you're going to start thinking about how you feel about the thoughts that you desire to materialize in the visible end of the spectrum. And your mind, your physical mind, which I ain't put the 3 pieces of the mind up there, it starts speaking on your behalf for you as you. And that voice inside of you is not you. That's your mind. And your mind has been given the duty of making sure all your involuntary functions in your body are going through at the optimal rate. You don't think about breathing. You don't think about seeing. You don't think about smelling or hearing or tasting anything. You don't think about these things. You just do it. That's you. And we stop operating from that side of ourselves the moment we start overthinking. You be over concerned about your body that you already got. But you're not concerned about you. Right? You're not concerned about you. You're concerned about everything that's going on externally through the senses instead of what's going on within the body, which is you, the spirit. They got access to the quantum doorway, and that's through the brow chakra, right? This leads to higher consciousness. This puts you on an angelic frequency. Because when you say the word angel, you're saying angle. And most people can only think linear, like in a straight line. But when you start talking about angels and angles, you're dealing with curvatures. You follow? Many people are thinking in squares, not in a cube. A cube is three-dimensional. A square is two-dimensional. Some people are thinking about a circle. A circle is two-dimensional and a sphere is three-dimensional. This is right thinking. So once you see it in three dimensions, you can move away from the body as a spirit. You see that? And you can start to evolve the body that you are currently inhabiting past the limitations that it's presented with. And when that brow chakra come out, the mind's eye comes through it. And your crown gets activated. And you start to connect to the divine. And all of that's within the planetary's magnetic color spectrum. That's not out in the space, all out in the stars and quasars. That's right here. This is why I be telling y'all need to be focused on what's going on right here, right now. Some of y'all be over concerned about what then went on 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 years ago. And you need to be focused on right now. Some of y'all be worried about what's going to happen 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years from now instead of just being present. And that shit started, it ain't nothing to me. It's just, I just hate to see people get victimized or psychically raped by fear. How the hell you gonna tell somebody what's gonna happen tomorrow? How could you, hey, this gonna happen tomorrow, y'all. Just wait and see. We sick of waiting and seeing. I could have been putting that energy on something else. The whole system gonna shut down. You gonna see. Listen to me. It's coming. That shit been coming. That's the new Jesus. Remember they said Jesus was coming back? That shit ain't that. They say Y2K. That's the year. It's yes to the king. One of them evangelists said that bullshit. Like, oh man, it's gonna happen on this time. And then my grandma swore up and down she was gonna see Jesus. That nigga was gonna pop up. She wouldn't even want to die. Like thinking all of the old elders, they were trying to hold on. Like, I gotta see Jesus. He coming back. They put you in a drawer, incinerate you, or get you ready for a coffin. And that nigga still ain't came. Now you got the new thing. This fake prophecies that niggas will keep making. Fake ass guesstimations of what's gonna happen and what a motherfucker thinking. You think if that shit was true, they would let your shit come across the damn what? They think they would let you upload that shit? Come on, man. You keep worrying about that stuff and question the shit out of a nigga. Like, man, how do you know for sure? Watch how much hair come on their tongue. See, y'all have been traumatized into not asking questions. And you be hearing these people, that shit sounds sexy. It sounds intellectual. But can you prove it? Hell no, you can't fucking prove it. Can't prove it. So why even tell it to somebody? So that they can be fucking confused? Telling people the world about to end? Telling people that the government about to shut down and you don't have to go pay your mortgages no more? You don't have to pay your rent no more. You don't have to go to court. The system has collapsed. You go ahead and listen to that shit if you want to. Just don't expect no sympathy when they come batoning your ass upside the head, hitting you with that taser, or emptying that magazine on your ass. Don't play with your... Don't allow these people to play with you like that, man. You got to question these people. And this is why I tell y'all to question me. I'm setting a precedence. You hear me? Question these motherfuckers. and question yourself, right? You got to go, you got to have an internal insight towards you. Because it's 1/3 of you that's your mother, it's 1/3 of you that's your father, and then it's 1/3 of you that's not your mother or your father. That's you. That's you. You hear me? And you are in that body. And through the senses, you can see everything on the visible end of the spectrum. Everything within that's comprised within the 4 elements, which is fire, earth, water, and air, right? Which is gas or clouds, or oxygen, which is a gas, right? And you a gas, a spirit. Like when you go to the liquor store, it say beer, liquor, wine, and spirits. And people put a certain spirit in their body, and now you on the frequency of beings outside the visible range just watching you take that shit in. And they watching you from the turquoise end of the spectrum. And then they come down right at the liquor store. They help you. They influence you to pick out the liquor. They get into the vehicle with you and ride home. Or they follow you to the club or to the trap or wherever the fuck you going with it. And they wait for your vibration to drop, and then they take over your body. This is how some of y'all drink way too much. And then you'll say, this for educational purpose only, TikTok. I am not advocating for people to drink and or to drink responsibly. I'm not telling you to do none of that. Right? I gotta say that for this this lofty ass site. But you're drinking and your frequency is dropping. And the spirit being that was up here came all the way down here through your emotions. And it's waiting for your emotions to drop. It's waiting for your desires to drop. So it can go ahead and hop into your body with you. And I know a lot of y'all that have people, it probably been you too. Like, man, you be acting different when you start drinking. You turn into something else. Like, damn, for real? Yeah, something else. Something was in you. It wasn't you. And sometimes you'll wake up in the holding tank in the county jail. And you're like, damn, what happened? What? You don't even know how you got there. Because another spirit then took over your body. Right? You have no spiritual protection. You have no physical protection either from the spiritual attacks. So I'm going to keep telling y'all this time in and time out. I'm going to keep going over it again and again till it get crystallized into you. You guys start asking the right questions. Shouts out to Shamari. Thank you, Shamari. Shamari, Golden Bay. Any of you guys have any questions? Anybody that got questions? If you in the top ranking on this live, that's Golden Bay, Jonas, and Shamari. You guys, if you have a question, you can come up on the panel and ask the question in real time. Say, can you screenshot the board? You certainly can. That's what it's up there for. I'm not going to take it down. I'm not going to take it down until a person asks a question that makes me take it down. Because based on the questions we've been having over the past 8 days, it's pretty much going to lead out to this. You're welcome, beloved. How do you know the difference between a mental attack versus a spiritual attack? That's an excellent question, Jonas. A mental attack, which is dealing with the mind, will have, you're going to see it happening in your head, and you can't stop it from seeing it. Now, a spiritual attack is one like I just mentioned, with the spirit entering into your body because you didn't put it in your body, right? Now, most people that get spiritually attacked, one of the main, what Sophia associated. What is Sophia associated with? Sophia is Osset. They they took the energy of Osset and turned it into Sophia. I went over this before. Sophia was the goddess of philosophy. That's where her name was Philosophia. And people started to philosophize in ancient, what they call ancient Rome and Greece. And they started to have their own ideology. They didn't want to be religious. So they had to shroud Sophia because the energy of that signature was making people go into transcendental states and also having the ability to learning and devoting themselves to a higher state of consciousness. But all of that shit was stolen out of ancient Egypt, for lack of a better word. That's right there in the brow chakra. That represents Osset. Osset is in the brow chakra. So they replaced her with Sophia, right? And they replaced Sophia with Athena. See, they try to replace all our gods, for lack of a better word. I got to use that because that's all y'all understand. But they try to replace all our gods with their fucking names so that the energy that was being allocated to those particular deities start going to their egregors. They reflect your energy. These are moon beings, lunar beings, lunar ticks. They howl at the moon like a dog. And if you look at the word dog backwards, you will see God. That is their God, the dog. What do they call dog? Man's best friend. They eat with the dog. They sleep with the dog. They let the dog lick them all in the mouth. They commandeer ticks, fleas. They're more susceptible to getting those things than you are. You're welcome, beloved. And see how they try to put the goddess Sophia out there. But they're not going to tell you about Osset. They're not going to tell you about Mayat. They're not going to tell you about Wapwawit. They're not going to tell you about Taweret. They're not going to tell you about Nephut. They're not going to tell you about Sekhmet. They're not going to tell you about Nefertum. Excuse me, not Nefertum. They're not going to tell you about Amunet. They're not going to tell you about Mihurt. They're not going to tell you about Mut. They're not going to tell you about Seshat. But they'll take their little white bony ass on over there and scrape the skin off of Seshat and turn it into a white lady. They'll go ahead and bleach out the greenness of Osset and turn it into a white lady. They doing that shit right now. This shit going on right now while I speak. And they're not being held accountable to that. And they're not even thinking or seeking to atone for what they're doing. With your immigration ass, you going to the museums the world over, you don't see nothing but that's those grave robbers. You robbing the fucking grave. Let me go rob George Washington grave. Man, I had so many M1 holes in me before I even reached the grass of the cemetery. Every pale person in this country will be saying, oh, that's an atrocity. How dare he do that? He should be hung. But y'all will take y'all pale baloney smelling ass over into the Happy Now Valley and you're digging up our goddamn rulers. You're digging up our pharaohs and our deities and parade them in a fucking museum and charge me $65 to see them. The hypocrisy. And you want to call me radical for pointing this shit out. How dare you, you hypocritical monkey. This is for educational purposes only, TikTok. I'm not angry at anyone and I'm not bullying anyone. So tell your AI algorithm to get his mind right. These are dog worshipers. And for all the people, let me get a 9 in the comments section. Anybody in the comments section that has a kennel that raises dogs? Anybody in there a dog breeder? Put a 9 in the comment section if you breed dogs. Or if you know of someone that breeds dogs. Let me get a 9 in the comment section. No 9s in the comments. Well, if you go to the book of Ezekiel, shouts out to Gary New. What's up, Gary? Gary New and Cosmic Intelligence. They both know people. You go to Ezekiel 16, verse 4. It talks about the beings that lived in the caves of Mount Haran and the Caucasus Mountains. And it's telling you what Abraham seen when he went up into those mountains. And he said that there were children being born without an umbilical cord. That means that they've been intermingling with the dogs, the wolves, and the goats. Do you hear me? That's how these diseases come about. They call it bestiality. And most of the beings that originate in those areas, their children are not born with umbilical cords. It tells you right in their own scripture. They're not born with umbilical cords. Just like that dog that your homeboy, them pit bulls that your homeboy got in his backyard with the kennel and shit. He ain't got to cut no umbilical cords. They just flop out. It's 444. Thank you, timekeeper. And this is why some of y'all sisters, when y'all at the hospital, not some, all of y'all, when y'all at the hospital, what the first thing they say? They come up all up on you like a vampire or a gargoyle. Can we have your placenta? It's for study. It's for stem search. That shit ain't for no study or no stem search. They taking that shit and inserting that shit into Becky ass. Because she don't got a placenta. Meaning that she don't have an umbilical cord that's connecting to that child in her womb. So when that child get to a certain age and somebody starts manipulating their emotions, they start manipulating their mental, these are mental attacks. You don't got a mental fortitude to block shit out, then guess what happened? You go home and, Dad, they don't stop talking about me. They keep messing with me. Well, here, son, take this AR-15. You break it down. They mess with you tomorrow. You go to the bathroom and you go out there and you just hose everything down. And they fucking do that shit. One time is a coincidence. 2 times it was intentional. 3 times is a fucking pattern. Tell the truth, it shames the devil. And these beings are not born with an umbilical cord. So they're not able to process things at the same rate that you do. They don't have right compassion. They got to go to Hollywood and act it out. They got to act out their emotions. They got to act sad. They got to act angry. They got to act happy. They don't have as many chakra points in their body as you do. So they're not going to process things at the same rate as you do. They got that peach fuzz all over their face. It covered the whole face. It's everywhere. It's just like, damn, you got a little peach fuzz on your face, baby girl. What the hell going on? Oh, yeah, we're hairy. That's not hair. That's fur. And it's for educational purposes only. And the only reason I'm bringing all these things up, because these are the beings that you're taking your social cues from. And to answer Jonas 999's question, these are mental attacks, right? These are what mental attacks look like. Because you're taking your social cues from beings that despise you and haven't even given you a reason as to why they did the things that they did to your dearly departed and your ancestors. Instead of going ahead and atoning and holding themselves accountable for the devilishment, the malefic intent of their forefathers. They say, hey, why don't we just go ahead and just erase all the history in the school books from 1960 back? We don't need nobody to see all that evil. No, we do need motherfuckers to see that evil. How dare you? Your immigrated ass who came over here illegally, the same way you trying to get on the Venezuelans and the Mexicans and everybody else that try to sneak through the border, that y'all left open for them to come in. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, y'all left that fucking gate open for them to come in. And now another president come in and say, I don't want them in. They playing fucking games. And they got you paying attention to that bullshit. Somebody asked me, hey, what about the immigrants? Man, they shouldn't be here. Let me go into your goddamn country and do that shit. They gonna lock me up and nobody will never hear from my ass again. And it has happened to a litany of people. You think Air Force One getting that call and saying, yeah, we got a couple of niggers that's stuck in Mexico. They don't give a fuck. I told y'all, y'all better wake up. Read, study lessons, and build your inner power. The next level doesn't tolerate cowards. Shouts out to Guru. May the ancestors be with him. That's who I got that from. And I remember a time when hip hop used to educate the youth. When it gave you insightful things to look into, you wasn't discouraged of having mind power and thinking and wanting to be intellectual. That's what hip hop is about. That rap shit, that's something that the Jewish media made up so that they could profit off of the downfall of our people. They engineered that shit. That was a CIA psyop. All that gangster music and shit. Jimmy Iovine and all them motherfuckers, they work with the devil, man. I told you guys, it was a war that went on. Right? He said nowadays it is like listening to a porno. I don't even know if it's that. It sounds like Percocet. I call it, these the Percocet babies now. Most of these children today write on a 2nd grade level. They read on a 4th grade level. And I'm not saying this to condemn them, but this is what happened when you put these cell phones in these children's hands, especially while their brain is still developing. The brain doesn't stop developing until you turn 25. So every little kid I see with a cell phone in their hand, they tearing their brain up. The gray matter in their brain is cooked. And that's going on with most adults beyond 25. I done counted 10 times. Right? 10 times I done counted. People then came on my page on a video I uploaded